Hey there, are you grieving the potential loss of a loved one or feeling overwhelmed with the loss of someone you care about? If so, you're in the right place. Lisa Hartung here, and this podcast is designed to guide you through topics surrounding death and dying. We'll dive into multifaceted aspects of grief, offering you a blend of personal stories, expert insights, and practical advice for your grief journey. May this be a safe space for you to learn, listen, and ask questions about your own life and loved ones. So grab your favorite beverage and let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Giving Grief Grace. This podcast episode is going live on December 28th, 2025. That means we will have just finished Christmas and be waiting for the new year to come. And I have to say, in thinking about this episode, so much time, effort, and energy goes into the holiday season. And people are merry and joyful. And then those of us who are grieving are having a hard time kind of feeling where is our place if we're grieving. Everyone else is singing, Holly Jolly Christmas, and we don't feel that. And so I'm thinking about this episode of Confessions of a Griefaholic, and the holidays can be shitty, and that's just how they are. And if we lost a loved one in the holiday season, you think about that all the time. Or if your loved one really enjoyed the holidays and they're not here anymore, the magic is just different. And so I hear you, I feel you, and I'm with you in it. This isn't just all doom and gloom. We'll talk about some positive things, but I just wanted to be honest with you. And I feel shitty too. And, I work in the death and dying space with this podcast, and that doesn't make it any easier. And just know I'm thinking of you, especially as we close out this year. Maybe this year was the year that it was the last time you were with your loved one, and next year will be the first year without them. Or maybe this was your year of firsts and you're closing out and thinking, well, what does the year ahead look like? The year of seconds. It's a difficult journey, friends, but there are glimmers of light. You will find joy in things, and there's so much in life to be grateful for and to celebrate. But I'm also leaving room for the time that it just doesn't feel great. And so I'm bringing this up because my birthday is on 12/27, and my mom ran a gift store, a little boutique in our town, for 37 years. From November 1st through Christmas, she was on her feet all day, every day, running the store. It was the number one gift shop in town, and so people were flocking to the shop to go to my mom's store. And I'm so grateful that she did that and that she was such a big part of our town, and that my sister and I got to work there during the holiday season, and we'd come home from college and we would help mom at the shop. I always felt like I got the short end of the stick because my birthday was 2 days after Christmas. And so, I always struggle with feeling like I'm in the way, like my birthday's in the way. And mom was always so exhausted after Christmas and just really didn't have any energy. And sometimes I wouldn't know if I would have a birthday cake or not, or if we were even going to do something. Mom was always very adamant about making sure that my birthday gifts were wrapped in birthday paper. My sister really stepped in and made sure that there was joy on my birthday, and happy memories that I have of my mom, my sister, and I going to Freeport, which in Maine is a little shopping town, and we would bring with us chocolates, and so we would eat chocolates as our meal for the day in between, shopping at these other stores. So that was always a really fun time to have my birthday. And so now, fast forward, my son turns 1 on 12/28, which is the day that we're releasing this podcast. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I feel such sadness that I did this, right? Like I had this baby 3 days after Christmas. He arrived a week early, so he was supposed to be due on January 4th, and he ended up arriving on 12/28 instead, and we were so grateful for that. But I also feel this tremendous guilt, like, why would I do this? History repeats itself. And so I really want to be mindful that his birthday doesn't feel like he gets the short end of the stick. And I don't want to mean that to say like I had a sad upbringing, and I was talking about sometimes you just feel shitty. And yeah, my birthday has never been something that I'm really joyful about. And it's kind of just been, And so I want to really have a concentrated effort of making my son's birthday joyful. With that, we are on a fun trip with the family. It's just been really nice to have some time outside of work. We're in a new place, so that's not like, oh, I've got to do the laundry, I've got to, wash the floors and clean the bathrooms. It's nice to just be away and celebrate just being together. And that within itself is just a breath of fresh air. And also brings the grief, like in these quiet moments, I think of my mom and I think of the loved ones that have passed and the loved ones that have passed recently. And man, it's tough. It's tough. So know that I'm with you. And you may be experiencing that holiday low. We had this whole build up to Christmas. And then what? Right? Okay, yeah, we have New Year's. And then after New Year's, it's like, oof, okay, yeah, it's the new year. I know going into this season, this week, that it's going to be really challenging. It's going to be a mental game that I have to continuously say, okay, what am I grateful for? What are the good things in life? What can we celebrate? Instead of feeling like, oh, like the victim. We arrived as babies when we arrived. And so how do we make good with having a birthday around the holidays? So one thing that I love to do, and a company that's helped me do this is called Cultivate What Matters. And they have power sheets, which essentially is like goal planning for your life. And I'm a huge planner. And I love making goals, setting intentions, right? If you write down your intentions or your goals or your plans, you are more likely, I think the stat was like 85% more likely to actually follow through with what you intended to do. So I highly recommend taking time, even if it's just an hour in the next week, to reflect on the year that we've just had. Was that celebrating time with your loved one, saying goodbye to your loved one? Was that honoring your loved one in a special way? Holding space to really enjoy that, right? So looking at what were the highs of this past year and how can you bring those highs into 2026. We are here now, right? The only thing that is permanent is right now. Everything else is either a memory or a thought to be had. So we're in it right now. Here's our moment, our present moment. And how can we live our best lives in this present moment? How can we show up for ourselves? How can we show up for our family? How can we show up for our friendships and our colleagues? Part of this goal planning is you want to number your days. So thinking about however old you are now, if you were to live to, say, 100, how many years would you have left? And what do you want to do with those years? As it comes time to the end of your life, what do you want written in your obituary? Let's make that happen. I always think dream big, and then you could break down those dreams into manageable goals that can help you get to where you want to go. Plan ahead. You want to number your days. Who do you want to see in this year ahead? And are there any relationships that you want to grow and cultivate? So think about you cultivating a garden. So you're growing these relationships. You need to add sun and water to them, maybe some fertilizer, right? To help your relationships grow. And that could be your relationship with yourself and finding that inner power, the strength to persevere in times of grief. Like that within itself is such a triumph to learn how to positively cope with grief and anxiety. There are many resources out there. Happy to share them with you. So maybe it's a relationship with yourself. Maybe it's a relationship with a spiritual or religious being, and you want to be in touch more with the otherworldly. Maybe you really want to hone a relationship with a family member. Maybe you fell out of touch with a friend, and that friend really just brings so much joy to your life. How can you orchestrate a meetup? How can you be really intentional about connecting with her or him? Sharing those stories of what made your friendship so beautiful. People always say, oh yeah, let's grab lunch, or oh yeah, let's get together. Make it happen. Put it on the calendar. Call that friend, text that friend and say, hey, let's make a pact to actually meet in 2026. I'm free on February 23rd at 6 p.m. And just be really intentional about the day, the time, and throw it out there. That at least will get the conversation going. You'll want to plan your year ahead, really cultivate those relationships. Think about where you want to go. Do you want to go and visit places, or do you want to change jobs? And if so, what does that mean? Do you have the finances to do it? Do you need help with your finances? If so, what's the next smallest step that you can take to make sure that your action plan can get rolling? Sometimes when we are so riddled with grief, it is really, really hard to move forward. You really think you're like, I'm just spinning my wheels. Like I'm sitting here and I can't think of anything else other than how sad I am and how I don't want to be in this. So, yeah, I hear you. Planning ahead does help, and it helps us because if the present moment is the only thing that we have and we're really struggling with the present moment, then planning ahead does help us, right? It brings hope for the future. So thinking about that friend that brings joy, thinking about, I feel like when planning vacations, the fun is all in the planning. And then once you get there, it's like, oh, well, we needed to be doing this or we needed to be doing that. And it's like, no, the fun was dreaming about it, right? It was all about the journey, not the destination. Thinking about all of the cool things that you're going to do on your vacation. And maybe that's a staycation. So many people I know have been like, yeah, I just feel so burned out. I'm just going to take some time off work. I'm going to get some new food to go in the fridge so it feels like it's a little luxury. Maybe you'll stay up late and watch some shows that you don't usually, or maybe quietly read a book, or, go visit some places nearby that you haven't. So it's always fun to think about, how can I infuse some joy into my life in the year ahead? Those are some things that I am pondering, especially as we head into celebrating New Year's Eve. And what does that mean for you? What emotions come up for you? I'm sitting here in our mountain house thinking about, history and my mom and my birthday and my son's birthday and how history does repeat itself. So if history repeats itself, then how can we make round two really good? How can we make sure that we're living it up as much as possible? Yeah, holiday depression and holiday blues are real. And one thing that's really exciting is that you can share your gratitude by reviewing the year that we just had. And what's helpful is go by month and just say, what was the one thing that was really awesome about each month? And maybe you'll have to go back in your calendar, go back through your photo reel, and think about all of the cool things that have happened over the last 12 months. And then planning ahead, thinking about those relationships. Are you wanting to be more spiritual? Are you wanting to connect with that friend? Where do you want to go? And what do you want to do, right? If you're changing jobs, it's a whole new lifestyle change, right? Thinking about that. And as I'm sitting here thinking about all of these things, I wanted to show you, my mom was a huge Whoppers. She loved Whoppers. And so I bought some at the store as we were preparing for Christmas. I was like, I just need mom with me. And so I've just been sitting here at my desk this week on location and seeing her Whoppers and thinking of her. So again, it's just a little thing to bring some joy. But confessions of a griefaholic. I am here with you. I see you. I feel you. And I'm really hoping that 2026 brings some light to your life, and know that there are different seasons of life and there are seasons of grief. And so it doesn't always have to be dark and gloomy and doomy, but sometimes it is hard. I'm here for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If this podcast has been helpful for you, or if there's a specific episode that you really like, please share it with someone, because you never know how it could change their life or some words that would really help them in the season that they're in now. I am sending so much love to you all, and I'm wishing you a bright and cheerful new year, and be safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and hope you have a happy new year. Tune in. We have some really exciting guests at the beginning of the year, so I can't wait to chat with you and connect with you. And we really will do an in-person event in 2026, so stay tuned. Super excited about that. Maybe we could build that into your annual plan. Sending love and light to you. Happy almost 2026. See you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Giving Grief Grace. If you found the content interesting and think it could help a friend or a loved one, please share it with them. Subscribe to this podcast and get a weekly dose of positivity. And while you're at it, please leave a review. If you enjoyed the show and want to support me financially on my grief journey, I'm raising funds for Project Purple, a nonprofit whose mission is to see a world without pancreatic cancer. I'm doing this by running the New York City Marathon in November 2025, and I'll leave a link to my fundraising page in the show notes. If you've lost a loved one and are looking for support in an online community, consider joining our free private Facebook group, Giving Grief Grace. May you be kind to yourself in the week ahead and give yourself grace. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.